Santiago, Chile, 4th of July, 1981. My family came from Germany. There was an official policy of the Chilean government in the 19th century to bring Germans to the country in order to help develop the country. So Chile went through a very traumatic period in the 60s and 70s. We had a socialist Marxist revolution. And then the country ended up in a complete crisis with hyperinflation, with scarcity of basic goods and services. My parents who lived through this, they told us these stories. They couldn't find milk for the children. They had to queue for buying toilet papers. Then we had the free market reforms in the 70s and 80s, and the country had a huge process of progress, and these problems went away. We imported from the United States the very good ideas of the Chicago School of Economics, which were really ideas of free market and, rule of law and things like that. And that's why we became the most successful nation in Latin America. But then, gradually, as if we had learned nothing from the past, a discourse started to gain traction, a discourse that was focused on equality, a discourse that was focused on going against people who have been very successful and redistributing a lot from the wealthy. And then the government started growing and growing again, and the country is going back to its very tragic past of economic failure. One of the worst policies was the tax reform, which dramatically increased the taxes on corporations. Now we want to introduce a tax on the wealthy, so the wealthy are leaving the country. We have record capital flights, and as a result of that, we have to take more debt, and then you can have a fiscal crisis and your government can go bankrupt, all because of this woke revolution that we are going through. So another policy that's very toxic is the war that is being waged against the police in Chile. Left-wing woke activists have taken over the judiciary. So the courts have basically not impartial judges, but what they have is activists who are releasing these criminals over and over again. Police don't dare to do anything anymore because the minute they touch someone, media going after them, judges going after them, and their lives are ruined. And this has led to a massive increase in homicides and crime like we had never seen before in Chilean history. And this is heartbreaking to see the place you grew up, being completely destroyed by these ideologies and these ideas. I have been the main face of this battle in Chile for over 10 years. I wrote books, I wrote dozens of articles warning that this was going to happen even 10 years before it happened. And it's very heartbreaking when you have done so much to try to help your country. And I can tell you, once you lose a country, there is almost no way back. It's very hard to recover it. For the last